Good morning. Myself, Guruswami K, Assistant Professor in Physics. Now I am going to deliver a lecture on nanophysics. Usually this comes under the paper 6. The paper code is SSC 611. Belongs to Kuvempu University. The title of the paper is Special and General Theory of Relativity, Statistical Mechanics, Wave Mechanics and Nanophysics. Now I am going to deliver a lecture on nanophysics. In this session, I am going to cover the topics like concept of nanotechnology, nanostructural materials, graphite. These are the topics should be covered in this session. Recap of the previous session. We should know the concept of thin films and microparticles, comparative study of the different sizes of particles and change of their properties with the dimensions. The materials have created a high interest in recent years by virtue of their unusual mechanical, electrical, optical and magnetic properties. Thin films and microparticles means the size of the particles is of the order of 10 to the power of minus 6 meter. If we compare these particles of different dimensions or different sizes, they possess different properties. The properties of these materials mainly depends upon the dimensions. And usually, if we go on to these sizes, that is 10 to the power of minus 6 meter and even less, we found that a drastic change in their properties. Usually their mechanical properties, electrical properties, optical properties and magnetic properties. Learning objective of the session. After the completion of this session, the student should be able to understand the physics of nano-sized material, the difference between nanostructural material and nanoparticle, nanomaterial synthesis and processing, methods for creating nanostructures, classification of nanomaterials, the structure of the graphite. These were came to know after the completion of this session. Session outcome from this session, students will be able to understand what are nanoparticles, different methods of synthesis of nanoparticles, nanomaterials classification, nanomaterials importance. Maybe understand. Now we are going to discuss the introductory part of this session. Nanoscience and technology is a broad and interdisciplinary area of research and development activity that has been growing explosively worldwide in the past few years. It has the potential for revolutionizing the ways in which materials and products are created and the range and nature of functionalities that can be assessed. Nanotechnology is the science that deals with matter at the scale of 1 billionth of a meter, that is 10 to the power of minus 9 meter or say 1 nanometer. It is also the study of manipulating matter at the atomic and molecular scale. Paintings even before the 4th century AD, the most famous example is the Lycurgus cup. This extraordinary cup is the only complete historic example of a very special type of glass known as dichroic glass that changes color when held up to the light. This is what the historic example. Before the 4th century AD itself, we using this nanotechnology and nanomaterial. And one more example is the paintings in the church. The old church, we observed that some paintings were there. There we use these nanomaterials in the paintings. Nanomaterials. Nanomaterials are materials with at least one spatial dimension in size is equal to 10 to the power of minus 9 meter or say approximately 1 to 100 nanometer. One spatial dimension means usually the material particles can possess 3 dimensions. Among those 3 dimensions, at least one of those dimensions, if it is in the order of nanometer, then those materials are referred as nanomaterials. Some nanomaterials occur naturally, for example, pollen grains in flowers and colored nano coating on the wings of butterflies. These are the natural example for nanomaterials. But of particular interest, engineered nanomaterials which are designed for and already being used in many commercial products and processes. Okay, these are man-made and find different applications also. Nanomaterials have a much greater surface area to volume ratio than their conventional forms or bulk forms, which can lead to greater chemical reactivity and affect their strength. Because of the surface area to volume ratio have higher order, here these nanomaterials exhibit different properties, unusual properties like mechanical property, optical property, electrical property, etc., and find plenty of applications. Importance of nanomaterials. These materials have created a high interest in recent years by virtue of their unusual mechanical, electrical, optical, and magnetic properties. Some examples are given below. So, first one is nanophase ceramics are of particular interest because they are more ductile at elevated temperatures as compared to the coarse-grained ceramics. Second one is nanostructured semiconductors are known to show various non-linear optical properties. And third one is nano-sized metallic powders have been used for the production of gas-tight materials, dense pots, and porous coatings. Usually fuel pipes we find some porous, in porous coatings we may use these nanometallic powders. Very small particles have special atomic structures with the discrete electronic states which gives rise to special properties in addition to the super paramagnetism behavior. In the bulk structure, the metals or the materials exhibit magnetism, paramagnetism. Now, if we reduce the size of those particles into nano size, then their magnetic behavior will be changes to very high order. Thereby, they exhibit super paramagnetism behavior and find many applications. Nanostructured metal oxide thin films are receiving a growing attention for the realization of gas sensors. For example, NOx, CO, CO2, CH4, and aromatic hydrocarbons with enhanced sensitivity and selectivity as compared to our conventional sensors. Now we are going to discuss classification of nanomaterials. According to Seigel, nanostructured materials are classified mainly into four types. They are zero-dimensional, one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and three-dimensional nanostructures. Here, zero-dimensional spheres and clusters are the examples for the first type, that is zero-dimensional nanomaterials. And here we found that the material usually in the order of spheres and the clusters, they possess nano size in all dimensions. Next, one-dimensional nanofibers. For example, nanowires and nanorods. One-dimensional nanomaterial example, one-dimensional nanofibers, nanowires, and nanorods. And two-dimensional nanoparticles or nanomaterial, two-dimensional films, plates, and networks. Here, at least two dimensions should possess the nano size. And third one is three-dimensional nanomaterial. Three-dimensional nanomaterial. This is what the classification of nanomaterials. Next, we are going to discuss nanomaterial synthesis. Nanomaterials are synthesized by the bottom-up or top-down approaches. That is, either to assemble atoms together or to disassemble or break or dissociate bulk solids into finer pieces until they are constituted of only a few atoms. Here first diagram shows top-down and bottom-up approaches. In the middle portion, nanoparticles are there. Here top-down approach means here we are going to take a bulk materials and go on breaking or dissociating those material. Then we are going to get the particles of very small size of the order of 1 to 100 nanometer. 1 to 100 nanometer. Other approach is bottom-up approach. In the case of bottom approach, we are going to collect the atoms, okay, and go on collecting those atoms that constitute a molecules, and those molecules will form the nanomaterials. This is what we call bottom up approach. Methods of creating nanostructures. There are many different ways of creating nanostructures. Few important methods are mechanical grinding, sol-gel process, wet chemical synthesis of nanomaterial, gas phase synthesis of nanomaterials, and CVC, chemical vapor condensation method. So many other methods are also there. Here, this technology or nanoscience is an interdisciplinary approach. Thereby, so many synthesis methods were there. Few important methods were discussed here. That is mechanical grinding, sol-gel process, wet chemical synthesis of nanomaterials, gas phase synthesis of nanomaterials, and CVC, chemical vapor condensation. Next, graphite. So we should know what is graphite. Next, we are going to discuss graphene. Graphite is a crystalline form of carbon occurring naturally. It is a native element mineral found in metamorphic and igneous rocks. Graphite, archaically referred to as plumbago, is a crystalline form of the element carbon with its atoms arranged in regular hexagons in black parallel layers. The bonding between the different parallel layers is not strong, therefore the layers are easily separable from each other. The weak bonding between the layers lends softness and lubricating properties to graphite. The carbon atoms in the hexagonal layers are united by covalent bonds or by metallic bonds. This metallic bond results in good electrical conductivity of graphite. Next, we are going to show a schematic representation of this graphite structure. Next, we should know what is graphene. Graphene is an individual layer of graphite. Graphene sheets have potentially valuable characteristics such as unusual electrical and thermal conductivity, two-dimensional strength, and extreme flexibility. Because of these properties, later these graphenes have found useful applications in designing nanomaterials. This is what the diagram shows, the structure of graphite and graphene. And this diagram, shows that these carbon atoms in graphite are arranged in hexagon, and here those layers of graphite can represent here. If we extract one of these layers, then we get graphene. And this is what the diagram shows, how the bonding should occur in the case of graphite and as well as graphene. Thank you.